check if this really hits the bed. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. It's just, for me back then, it was so much easier to just attach myself to some influencer, some role model that I was following. So be it like yourself, Joe Delaney, Mo Samuels, you know, these guys on YouTube, I just kind of start copying them. And everyone said that this is wrong, and maybe it is, but the thing is, my life changed forever when I literally just started copying people. Honestly, like I was 17 years old thinking, okay, this guy exercises like this, I'm gonna do it. This guy's got this kind of personality with girls, okay, I'm gonna imitate that. And obviously by like copying and imitating someone, you can never do it 100% right, which means that then you have your own individual twist on it anyway. But there's no way, like even though this is the smarter way, like I do this now, like if I see something new, I kind of fact check it and everything. But there's no way I was doing this when I was 17 and like jacking off whilst I was seeing this.
I think it's really difficult for the youngsters who are 17, 18, 19, at that stage, they don't really have an identity. Like they aren't really anyone. They haven't done anything. So, because I remember when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I didn't really have this confidence about myself because I hadn't done anything. Whereas now, being 32 and everything that I've done and achieved and so on, and the experiences which I've had, I feel like, you know, I'm so much more confident. But I feel like the youngsters today have way more role models out there compared to 10 years ago. There was a lot fewer people making these kinds of videos on social media. So I'm sure, I mean, I can't even imagine how many lives you've positively impacted. What are your, I mean, could you summarize the main messages or the main, what's the word I'm looking for? You have your cult, you have your message. How would you summarize that? Like, what are the main things? Obviously, no porn, no fapping, or a little bit of fapping once a week, fat.
So what I say, how I summarize it is I teach these two concepts. I say drastically decrease instant gratification. And those are the feel good, pleasurable things that we want to do right now, but they usually make our life worse in the long run. People don't usually want to accept that bit. So, you know, everyone's got a vice that they think is absolutely fine. But for a lot of young guys, it's porn, it's video games, it's drugs, it's scrolling on TikTok and Instagram and everything. It feels kind of pleasurable right now. It feels easy, but it does make your life ruin. Like even video games, that's the one I get the most hit back for. Even video games, every single time you play, your life does get a little bit worse every single time because, you know, if you went the extreme route, then your life is destroyed if you become a full-on video game addict. So you drastically reduce those bad habits. And then at the same time, you drastically increase the delayed gratification activities. And those are the ones which are very uncomfortable and challenging and hard and difficult right now. But they make your life work better in the long term. So that's exercise, eating clean, meditating, having a good sleep schedule, studying, working hard, working on a business. So it's kind of it's kind of common sense, obviously. It's oh yeah, don't do the bad things and do the good. But when I've explained it like this, people finally realize oh, that makes so much sense. You know, people wonder why they feel so depressed and why they feel like they're in such a rut. And when I tell them, when you do instant gratification, what you're doing is just stealing happiness from your future self. When you watch porn today, you're literally taking happiness and pleasure from your future self. When you play video games, you're doing the same thing. And this has been you know, I'm not a scientist, but this has been scientifically proven. You do ruin your brain when you do these things. And the issue with this is eventually you become your future self. A lot of young guys don't understand this concept. As you have gotten a bit older, you know that the things you've worked hard for, eventually it's you become that future version of yourself looking back and you're thank you, younger me, for doing that for me. I didn't build this body, you didn't build yours. It was our younger selves who did it. So that gives us a sense of self-love because we did something for us today, even though we didn't get the rewards of it previously. And if you flip that around, the amount of guys and girls who are just stealing happiness from tomorrow and again and again and again and again. And then they become their future self and they hate themselves. How couldn't you? If you look down and as a guy, you can't even see your own dick, you're way overweight, you've got messed up hormones and everything, you hate your life. How could you not have this sense of depression and even suicidal thoughts when you just think of how much happiness your younger self just stole from you?
Yeah. And I think even the easiest, quickest fix to sort yourself out if you're feeling depressed is to go and do some hard exercise. Just doing, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, hard exercise. Maybe even just some HIIT training. Because for me, whenever I do the activity which I enjoy doing the least, whenever I have some of my friends come and they get me doing some CrossFit circuit or something crazy, at the time it feels horrible. but afterwards, like I'm on a high, and then I'm on a high for the rest of the day, and everything else just, even the choices I make when it comes to the food which I eat, it's on point. Everything is just aligned after that. So yeah, it's pretty mad. Are you friends with Sneeko?
Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't say close friends, but yeah.
Was there a little bit of beef?
Yeah, there was.
What? How did that come
He
about?
called me gay.
Did he?
Yeah.
What, like literally?
No, he saw a video of me stretching where I was showing like a workout routine or like day in the life or something. He started like shouting, saying that I was gay, saying that like you don't need self-improvement, that this is a bad advice, that like he doesn't need self-improvement, that just like a bunch of condescending stuff. He was just kind of, towards me, he was just kind of being like, like just joking around, calling me gay and stuff. But then I think he went a little bit too far with like, he started criticizing like my followers and saying like, they're weird for needing this stuff. He's past this phase. It's just bad. It's not even good for you or anything.
But why do you think he felt the need to do that?
He started making like react videos. So at that point, you just find whatever video and start reacting to it, react. And then obviously if you choose like a pretty big YouTuber who's got an active audience, it'll be shown in their recommendations. So loads of people found it, sent it to me. And there was like the beef started from that.
But it's all good now though.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Yeah. I always find it mad when some people have literally made their careers off just purely reacting videos.
Yeah.
Like I've had a few done about me, but it's never really been enough for me to go and make a reaction back.
Yeah.
But
so if you see one, let's say you're on YouTube and
the most ones I get is the natty, like fake natty, not natty, blah blah. There's loads of them out there, and these guys have no proof, no evidence of anything, but based off just the way I look, they're like, right, I'm gonna make a video about this guy.
Yeah. You seem used to it now, but like back in the day when you first saw it, did that hurt?
It was, everybody says, oh, surely it just must feel like a compliment. And in a way, it's good because you're being talked about. So it's good publicity in some sense. But the thing that pisses me off the most is when people think I'm a liar, or people think that I'm coming up with, me saying I'm natty to try and sell something or scam people or whatever it might be. And it's not. It's like, it's literally, I made a choice not to take any steroids, and I'm getting accused of it. It's mad now. We're in a situation now where people who are being accused, the people who are opening up to saying that they've taken steroids are getting more respect than the people who aren't taking steroids and say that they're not taking steroids.
Yeah, it's always been like
it's
that.
like it's weird as fuck. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people in the industry who are actually taking something. But the only thing I can possibly do at this stage is do the same thing which Matt has done and go through the testing from Derek, more place, more dates.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get that done next year. That's the only thing that annoys me at the moment, because I have no evidence or proof to say or to back up my claims that I haven't taken anything.
Yeah. Have you got your testosterone checked recently?
Yeah, it's normal. So I do the thing with Bionic.
Yeah.
And the testosterone is in the normal range.
Do you know roughly what it was? They'll want to know.
I can get
a few hundred or so. Yeah, let's see, bro. Let's prove it right here now.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to you.
Yeah.
So, free testosterone. The free testosterone is high, but the total testosterone is normal.
Is this with Medicheck?
That's the Bionic thing.
Okay.
So basically, I do this every 3 months because I'm just trying to optimize my health.
Yeah.
And see what I'm deficient in and what I'm not deficient in.
That's
because
good.
even that was one of the most common questions which I got asked all the time was, oh, what supplement should I take? And I would say to them, well, I don't really know. It's completely dependent upon you, your blood levels. You may be deficient in something which someone else might not be. So why would you go and take a load of supplements when you don't necessarily need to be supplementing with something?
Mm. So let's see, we got 21.34 nanograms per deciliter free test, which is on above the high range. I was above that as well, actually. The range is 5.7 to 17. I think I was on 19 as well, and I still had like some problems to fix. So I don't think it's like impossibly hard to get above that. So
if you scroll down, there's the
total test as well. Let's have a look.
But again, that's not really enough to prove anything, really. I don't think.
Is it not?
If you wanted to get a full legitimate round of testing to prove that you're natural, it would have to test for a load of other different things, and you would need to be tested over a long period of time. So basically, I would need to maintain my condition or be in better condition whilst getting tested, and Derek check everything to see that.
Yeah.
So it's not like an easy bam, one test, prove natural. It's like something which needs to be done over a long period of time.
Yeah.
Matt was telling me the other day that it took him like, this whole thing has been going on for 6 months.
Yeah.
You have to put a load of money up front, random testing. Like there's a lot of organization that takes place, and Derek is a very busy guy. So it's something as well he has to commit to.
Yeah.
But fair play to both of them for doing it.
So at this point, you're guilty until proven innocent, really.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
And it's annoying.
Yeah. Because this has been going on for a while. Like
So
I literally,
long.
I've seen
But
videos
like,
of yours years ago where you were talking about this.
If I was taking something, I would come out with it.
Yeah. Oh, here we
I'm
go.
very honest about everything else. And obviously, I don't want the whole thing. Obviously, we've seen what's happened with Liver King.
Yeah. That's worse, honestly. It'd be better. Oh, by the way, I'm taking it. Like everyone's, oh, yeah, honesty, yeah. Total testosterone, 29.6 nmol. I don't know what number that'd be, but it's on just underneath the upper end of the range. So honestly, it looks natty to me.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, how do I look in person? Because people always say, you know, either you look bigger in person or smaller in person.
You look
I was pretty normal.
probably about, like what I expected, but I think I've already got the lens of like when I see someone's shirtless pictures, I know that's with good lighting and stuff. So I know that you expect them to be like a little bit smaller when you see them day to day, unless you've done like push-ups in the elevator coming down.
Oh, yeah. I'm wanting to impress you, bro.
No, you look good though. I don't think, the thing is, your biceps, your arms are the same size as my MMA instructors.
Yeah.
And I assume he's natty as well. So I believe you personally. The fact that you're going through this Derek, like blood testing and everything as well. And plus like, it'll sound better coming from me than from you, but I think it definitely is coming down to like people's insecurities. Like when I first saw your pictures or someone else your size, straight away in my mind, it's like, oh yeah, he can't be natty. But I'm not saying that as an insult to you. I'm almost saying it to myself, because it's like, oh yeah, like if he is natty, then fuck me, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So maybe when I first saw your pictures, I don't really remember, but I probably would have thought, oh yeah, he's probably taking something. Just because it's like, I couldn't imagine putting in the sacrifice and the work to look like that. But you've been into fitness for like 10 years, haven't you?
14 now.
There you go.
And it's like my life.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
So we'll find out next year. It'll be an interesting year, 2023.
Let's do it.
What's your routine like at the moment then for staying in shape, looking good?
So I'm switching over to way more about martial arts and fighting. So I'm still training in the gym, but maybe like 3 times a week now, just trying to do maintenance volume. Wake up at 6:30, go for a run, come back, protein, everything, and go for like maybe... Right now, it's a bit all over the place because I'm just recently switched over to prioritize fighting. But recently, it's more like just 3 times full body, just maintenance volume, just try and like maintain the size that I've got. And I'm just cutting down a little bit now because I may as well just get into like more fighter shape.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything which you preach that you sometimes don't necessarily follow from time to time?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, man. Maybe I'll miss meditation. I'll eat some junk food every now and then.
You'll fap 6 times a day.
Yeah, of course, bro. I'm doing it right now. Look underneath the table, man. Nah, not even that, man. Honestly, fapping for me is literally like less than once a year. But it's you're cheating when you have sex, I guess. But like, literally, don't watch porn, don't fap at all. That's like something I just don't. It's not even like discipline for me. Honestly, it'd be more discipline for me to do it because it doesn't even pop into my mind anymore. I'm not sure if you're the same, but once you've not done it in so long, it's like it's harder to do it than it is without. But I'd say probably for me, like my one thing that I do the most that I tell my boys not to, is probably like junk food. Like I like a treat every now and then. If me and my girl go to like a cafe or something, like I want to get like a little croissant or something.
I think the thing which I'm most annoyed at with my behavior and habits, social media is one of them. I even have the time limit on Instagram for how much time I spend on it. It's like you've been on for 1 hour and I just ignore. I'm like, it's crazy. And I'm spending too much time on it. Like I'd say to myself, I go through periods of time where I'm like, this is ridiculous. I need to fix this. And then I just completely forget about it. And the way they suck you in, they get you every single time. So I am literally contemplating deleting the apps on my main phone, having my work phone with the apps on. And then any work which I need to do on Instagram, I will go on my work phone, done. And then I can just use this phone for anything else which I need to use it for.
Meditation really helps with this. I think that's the best benefit. It's like, so maybe on average, it's like half an hour passes by till you realize, oh, I'm wasting time, and you get off. With meditation, like you just become way more conscious and aware. So when I started meditating, like I was doing it quite extreme, like 60 minutes a day. But honestly, it got to the point where like I wouldn't even accidentally click on it anymore. Everything I did became with intention and purpose. So if there was a time that I clicked on it, to post something or something, I'd literally posted it and went off. But as I've like, it's times where I've not meditated as much, I find myself more prone to these things. Like, you probably know, like, with social media and everything, what they're trying to take from you is attention. Yeah. And meditation is literally the skill of harnessing your attention for yourself. That's why like I preach it so highly, because it's literally, I think, the number one needed skill to fix mental health these days. Because most of our mental health problems are coming from our smartphone, social media. And if you have the ability to control your attention and just, really choose, okay, how long do I want to be on Instagram right now? Like I'm on it, like I've got a new account, literally maybe 2-3 minutes a day now. I just don't even, I was going to say I follow no one. I follow like you and like 2 other guys literally. And I don't even look at your posts or anything. Like maybe if you've got a story whilst I've opened, okay, quick, I'll look at that. Yeah. But it's like, Tate says this, he said like he does everything with purpose, with consciousness. I don't think he's like a master meditator or anything, but when he said it, I was like, oh yeah, like that really sounds like what a high level of meditation does to you. You ever meditated?
Do you know what? I think that is the answer to a lot of my problems. I think, especially this year, I'm trying to take on a little bit more. So there's more responsibility, more staff, even with just doing this podcast. Like, I can't help but constantly pre-plan things in advance. So typically I'd be like, right, okay, let's go to bed. And if I've got a podcast the next day, then all I can think about is the podcast and the questions I'm going to ask and how the conversation is going to go. And then I get like worked up. And then before I know it, like my heart rate's gone up and I just can't sleep for shit. So I feel like if I can master this art of meditation and doing it regularly, I think I'm just going to be so much more relaxed. My ultimate dream is to go to bed, lie down, out. That's what I want. Very rarely happens.
Yeah.
Even I have this, I'm trying to...
Is that whoop?
Yeah. I'll admit, even though I know the things which I need to do before bed to enhance and seduce myself into having a good night's sleep, I'm not doing those things.
It's so interesting you use that exact phrase. I know what I should do, but I don't do it, because I hear that exact sentence all the time. And that's why I tell guys, like, just meditate. Like, literally, it's just an attention problem. It's nothing else. You're an extremely disciplined, hardworking guy, so we know you've got the capability for it. It's just that, like, using modern technologies has deteriorated some of your attention, because most likely, unless you're drinking caffeine really late or something, but most likely there's no physical issue for you to fall asleep. It's all in your mind, isn't it? It's because your attention's 100%. Going somewhere else. If you're able to control your attention, like, I like, not to boast, but I can fall asleep in 10 minutes every single night, no problem at all. I have like deeper sleep problems later on in the night. REM sleep's a bit fucked from like trauma and everything, but like my sleep habits and falling asleep, absolutely perfect, just because of, honestly, meditation, and then like some good habits before bedtime, not like using caffeine, not really going on your phone. But if that's one of your biggest problems, honestly, 5 minutes of meditation every single morning.
So what the basic steps for an absolute newbie when it comes to meditation? What do I need to do?
So the way I would recommend is you download a nice app on your phone.
Yes, another app.
Yeah. Yes. Or you can just use like a YouTube video if you want. They're all pretty much the same. I like an app called Medito, and everyone can go down. It's completely for free. It's like by volunteers and everything. I've always used that. And nowadays I don't really do normal meditation. I do deep breathing. So you might like that as well, because that relaxes you and brings your heart rate down even more. So when you're tracking it on the Whoop, it'll be nice to see, because you'll literally see your heart rate go down. So deep breathing, any deep breathing app, any deep breathing like YouTube video, and you just follow like a certain sort of breathing template, like a structure for 5 minutes or so. And the way I'd explain it, because a lot of these apps don't actually like literally tell you what to do. They kind of like, guide you through it, but they don't tell you what the point of meditation is. And I figured this out really early. I could be wrong, but like the way I thought of it is we focus on one main thing. So it's usually the breath. That's completely our focus. Within literally a split second, your attention has deviated to somewhere else, and you're thinking thinking about the podcast tomorrow, you're thinking about high school, you're thinking about another fake Nazi video, or anything. Your attention's gone. And you're not really aware that it's like, you're not consciously thinking, oh, it's gone, for like maybe a couple of seconds because you're still breathing, you think you're focused on your breath, and then you realize, oh, I was deep in thought. That moment when you realize that you're deep in thought, all you've got to do is not hate on yourself, just bring the attention back to the breath. It's this process of going from the thought to back to the breath. That's like doing like one bicep curl to the brain. If you do that 10 times a day, that's awesome. That's already progress. Once you get to the point of doing that maybe 100, 200 times a day, which, it's these micro moments. Maybe it'll happen 10 seconds from now. Maybe it'll happen when you go into the toilet later. I reckon a couple hundred times a day, you'll absolutely be passing out at nighttime.
Yeah. I think there's that and there's stretching. Those two things,
me too.
I feel like my life would completely transform.
Stretching's hard to get into. I don't know how to get into it, man. I've tried.
It's so boring.
I've tried so many times.
It doesn't feel nice either. Yeah. If you're a stiff guy as well, it's like, oh my God.
Stiff hamstrings from the leg curls. My hamstrings are still sore from like 2019, man. The RDLs I did once.
It catches up on you though, because I never really noticed anything up until the age of, I guess like 31, 32. I'm just noticing like maybe it's like a pain in my lower back. And I notice it's because my posture is like really bad. And I think I have a bit of, and it's anterior pelvic tilt.
Forward.
It's one of them.
Butt forward.
The butt is like pushing forward a little bit.
Anterior.
And it doesn't help because in Dubai, I'm driving around a lot. And I'm driving around in that like a low sports car. Like I'm not walking as much as I would usually walk in the summertime. And I know it just kind of catches up and I think, holy shit. Like, what is this going to be like in 40 if I don't address this now? So I need to... Everybody should be doing it. It's literally the reduction in the risk of injury is obviously going to be massive. You're going to have a greater range of motion. It's just naturally going to be quite maybe a relaxing process at some point.
Can I give you a tip for that, actually?
What?
I found the smallest amount of progress. You've probably tried to do like stretch routines, haven't you?
I've done a few, yeah.
Yeah, they're showing you different exercises. It's too much, honestly. It's like, that's like taking a beginner and showing him like 20 different exercises. He's not going to remember.
But this is what some guy did. He was like really good at showing me all these mobility routines, but he literally just bombarded me with like...
It's not going to,
like, hey, do this one. And I'm like... Can you please structure it in some kind of a routine so I understand what to do and what to follow?
It's not even the routine. You know what I'd recommend? Choose one exercise and hold it for like minutes at a time and use that as your time to go on your phone. So particularly go and look for a stretch which you can still use your phone on. Which, we're being a bit like spurgy, but whatever. Like there's one for my hips, which I like, where I just go into like frog pose, like, you kneel down, open your legs a bit more. And literally I'll just hold there, just like watch YouTube on my phone. It's the only way I've been able to do it so far.
I think that's one of the best ways to do it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Even when I go and do cardio, like I'm doing something productive when I do it.
Yeah, it's so much better. When I do cardio, like incline treadmill walk or something, hop on Discord, hop on like a video call with one of my guys. Especially doing that, like you're going on your phone's nice, but like when I hop on like a call with a follower, like a video call, and they're watching me, I'm not going to hold the handrails right now. I'm not going to like slow it down. Like as soon as I hop on, I'm like speeding it up, max incline. Yeah, let's do it. Let's power up now.
So with the content which you're doing, you're pretty damn regular with it, which is I'm impressed with.
Thank you.
Because it's for anybody who doesn't do YouTube, they just assume it's not a real job. It's easy, but it's actually really quite time consuming. And if you're the type of person that's putting out content nearly every single day, it's very time consuming. So what is the process with you and yourself when it comes to coming up with an idea for a video? Like how do you think about something? Because I guess you're at a point now where I was at that point as well, where you've obviously put out a lot of content and then you're like, oh shit, like, I've already done a video on this. I've already done a video on this. Like trying to find something new to do. How does your brain work when it comes to the creative process?
See, I don't look out for like something new. Because the way I see it, like some people have criticized my videos and say, oh, they're really repetitive. He says the same things. But the way I see it is like, but repetition's good. Like, the bench press is really repetitive. I'm not going to do it again. It should just give me all the gains. Like, no, well, you do it all the time and that's how you get the gains from it. And for a guy like me, at least in my mind, like I needed someone to hammer in the same point over and over again for it to like really be serious in my mind. So that's what I do. I don't particularly look out for something new that I've not really spoke about. I go and live my life and I get like, lessons. Maybe I'll take away like 3 things once I leave from this. And I'll be, like Mike talked about this thing and maybe I can use that in a video. And because I'm quite close to the guys who watch my videos, like I'm always in my Discord server, I do like meetups and everything. They'll come over and tell, oh, Hamza, I'm struggling with this thing. And if the same like 4 guys tell me the same thing per day. It's like, oh, like, okay, this is the thing that they're struggling with, which I've probably not addressed yet. So let's make a video on that. So far, honestly, like it's easier for me because just of the nature of like, the guys are asking about my videos because the videos are really for them. And they're asking, oh, could, you made this video, but you didn't explain this. Or Hamza, I'm struggling with this. And, most people have the same kind of struggles. So it's easy for me. Like I've never had a time where I've really like ran out of ideas personally, just because people just give them to me.
Yeah.
So it's way easier to.
And I guess there's a lot of problems out there to solve.
Yeah.
What's the most common one that your audience seem to have an issue with?
One of the ones that they don't very much talk about, but it's certainly the most popular, is just problems with girls. They're all lonely. 80-something% of guys are quite lonely. They aren't dating right now. So that's why a lot of my videos are quite focused on getting girls at the moment, because I've kind of like neglected that side of things for a long time. So that, but no guy really speaks about that. If I ever do like a poll, like, oh, what videos do you want to see? Like, no one's clicking girls. It's like, it's a shameful thing these days to like mention that, oh yeah, you want to get girls, you want to get love in your life. But if I make a video on girls, top, like so many views, everyone's interested in it, saying, oh, it's really helped them, they're going through a breakup right now. But the one that they all actually talk about and admit, probably money. I think with Tate really going global and even telling young men to, start pursuing money, even whilst they're in the education system. So many guys are rising up and thinking, man, like I could actually be making money right now. They've got some peers who they're seeing, maybe flipping Instagram accounts or something, making like a few hundred. And so many guys, every single meetup now are asking me like, oh, Hamza, like, I'm 15 years old, I'm in school and stuff, but like, what could I even do to make money right now? How do you even start a business?
Yeah. I think it's a mad one for a youngster when they're growing up. They're never really taught how to approach girls, how women work. Like it's literally just the case where you have to experience and hopefully learn from that experience. But there's naturally, I think, those types of people who are more extroverted and they're just naturally like way more talkative. And from that, they tend to be a little bit more confident because they're just better with people. And then there's the opposite end of the spectrum where, a really introverted person might have a lot more of a difficult time communicating or even breaking the ice. I think the biggest problem I had when I was growing up as a teenager, I could have a conversation with a girl easy, but it was breaking the ice. It was having the balls to go up to a girl and just say something without it being awkward. But once I'd broken the ice or someone had introduced me to her, then it was easy because then I could just have a conversation and usually they would warm to me because I was just a nice dude. But the ice breaking is a tough one because realistically 80-90% of the time you're gonna get shot down.
Yeah. And things are different now as well. Like when you were young, no offense, it was a little while ago, but like these days it's quite different. And the sort of quite evil brainwashing and conditioning, the poor advice that young men are getting in terms of girls, like, oh yeah, just tell her you're in love with her, just, be a simp for her and stuff. So a lot of guys are falling for it these days and just doing what would come naturally from the movies they've been watching. Every guy's watched the movie where the girl is literally with like the Chad, the jock, and he's, like focusing on football or something, and the girl feels really upset, and the little nerdy skinny guy is like obsessively thinking about her. He's got pictures of her on a wall, and eventually he wins her. And it kind of shows, okay, this little weird guy eventually gets the girl, so they should quite like be like him. And so we've got the rise of guys who are obsessing over girls who aren't even thinking about them. And this in the real world, this doesn't actually work out well. In the real